Farm Bureau. Glad to be with you this afternoon. Glad to have Chris Jans with us as well, head baseball coach at Mississippi State. Bulldogs go to Gainesville this weekend.
Wrong.
What a turn of events that would be.
Sorry, Coach. That would be funny if Chris Jans was on the phone with us.
There's no respect ever here, so I get it.
You know what? You guys just take this thing over. We were talking about Chris Jans in the transfer portal a minute ago. Coach, to be perfectly honest, this conversation kind of interrupted me opining about the Yankees probably going 162-0 this year.
I doubt that either. So,
well,
they'll usually screw it up. So,
yeah, we'll see.
I don't feel that good about the Yankees.
Head baseball coach Chris Lemonis at Mississippi State joining us. Mixed bag this weekend. Thought your guys played really well on Saturday. Played well enough to win. I thought the other two games. What did you take away from this weekend?
I don't know. It was a tough weekend because I felt like we outplayed them most of the weekend, but you come home and you only have one win. So you're obviously frustrated because we just don't finish out the two games. And that, they're a good team and you're playing them on the road, but when you get a chance to get a win in this league, you got to take advantage of it. And our guys played hard. They played toe-to-toe with them all weekend long. Had the leads going into the other two games in the ninth, and you don't get out of there with the win. So obviously, there's no moral victories here. Like I've had to explain to the guys, it's not about playing good; it's about winning and playing winning baseball. And so we got to do a better job of that.
Was this weekend evidence, though, that you are really close? That you know that's a good team, you know that's a talented team, and if you just do a few more things, this could turn into a year that might be really special?
Yeah, I feel that way, and I think we felt that way. Probably our coming out moment was LSU. We're playing the two in the country and felt like we should have won all three of those. And then, you go to A&M, who I feel like A&M for us right now has probably been the toughest opponent that we've had. They were really good that week too, and we were toe-to-toe with them. And then you go to Florida and you're in every game or leading almost every inning of every game, and you don't come out with the victory. So we definitely feel that way. I mean, we've our first 3 weeks in the league arguably are probably three of the hardest weeks anybody in the whole country has to play the whole year. And so, but the schedule continues. We still have to go out and play other really good SEC teams. And so I'm pleased in some ways where we're at. We're just, a couple plays here or there from, saying, hey, we're not good, we're great. And that's been the message to the kids.
Coach, you can feel free at the end of my question to say, hey, Dad, you idiot. I'll let you have it.
Yeah.
Or you can say that preemptively if you would like.
You can say a pre-question. Yeah, nobody will care.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Caglione there in the bottom of the ninth, I know he's the go-ahead run. Does it ever occur to you, or do you as a coach, would you ever consider putting him on and just taking your chances with the rest of the lineup?
We were talking about it if we'd have got the leadoff off. Like that was the conversation. But once you have a guy on, holy cow, you're telling yourself you're going into extra innings on the road right away, And to give our pitchers credit, I think he had 2 hits all weekend, and we had pitched him really well. We just left the ball over the plate a little bit in that scenario. We were trying to come really hard in, but it goes through your head. We had a lot of conversations about it. We just told ourselves. You saw me walk him a couple times at different spots because it was either we had to be in a situation we go all out at him or not, and there was a good chance he was getting walked if we had got the leadoff hitter out. Once you have the leadoff, then they bunt, and now you got a chance for, you're going to lose the game and you put both guys on. That's not a good feeling. And neither scenario is a good feeling, right? You don't want to pitch to Caglione anyway. So, but once we hit the leadoff, that kind of forced our hand a little bit.
I think there are a lot of things that stood out from Saturday. Is Jurangelo the biggest standout from that game for you with what he did on the mound?
He was great. Yeah, obviously, you can't overlook that performance. But man, DJ was great again. Connor Heisek had a big night. We had like 3 or 4 2-out hits in a row to really expand that game. So there was a lot of good. We played really good defense all weekend long. I thought. Our guys played a high level defense. We did a lot of good things in that game, and I thought getting Tyson Harden had been out for about 10 to 14 days for us, so getting him back in there, that was huge for us too.
Coach, kind of out of the frying pan and into the fryer, and I know you have a game tomorrow, which has been moved up. We haven't mentioned it yet. 11 a.m. first pitch.
Yeah, 11 a.m. Trying to beat this weather because Central Arkansas is here. They came in the night early, so we're going to do everything we can to try to play. I know it stinks for our fans.
You have Jack Caglione this weekend, but now you have to face Charlie Condon. The question I have is pretty simple. How do you pitch to a guy who's hitting 500?
Carefully. So, hey, look at our last 4 weeks. We joked about it, but we had Tommy White, and then we had Lavalette and Montgomery, and then this weekend we had Caglione, and then this week now we got Condon. So, I mean, I don't know if you can go – that's the old murderer's row, I guess, you know. I was talking to, you know, we have some really crazy hitters in our league right now because I was talking to the Florida coach, and, you know, he was saying, you know, they had kind of played the same schedule as us. They played LSU and A&M. And I was like, look at all the hitters because you know, you can look at us and say Dakota Jordan and Hunter Hines, right? You're looking at some of these guys. I mean, you're looking at big leaguers, you know, and Charlie Condon, what he's doing is top to everybody right now in college baseball. It's pretty crazy. We were going through some of the stats here earlier.
It's interesting you say that to me. I was going to ask you about that, and obviously you're looking at it because you play this weekend. But as a fan of college baseball who's in the game, I have found it interesting and talking with some other coaches doing other TV games. Like they bring it up. Like you guys see what Charlie Condon's doing. I mean, the 1800 or 1850 OPS. I mean, like everything he's doing is just wild right now.
Yeah, it's homers, it's average, it's RBIs. I mean, you're trying not to pitch to him as much as you can. I mean, really. I mean, he's going to have to hit what you want him to hit, or just take the walk. And but you know, that's the hardest part with him. And I was watching some tape from the Tennessee weekend. They had like a 20-mile-an-hour wind out. You know, you're hoping you don't have anything like that this weekend because it's just, you know, anything to help him too because he makes so much contact, so much hard contact. Just anything he hits ends up, you know, in the air.
You mentioned all the great power hitters in the SEC this year, but as you mentioned, Dakota Jordan is your guy there. He's having an incredible season, and he looks like he's taken a big step forward from where he was last year when he was still really, really good. You know, what about his preparation has changed? What about his approach has changed that's got him playing at this high level?
I think it's a maturity, just a day-to-day maturity. I think some of the funnest things of trying to play consistently, you know, we first got a football player. He played baseball like football. And so it was really high, really low, really, you know, like, and learning how to play this game every day and handle the ups and downs and handle being the guy, you know, like when you're the guy, you know, they're talking about how to pitch Dakota Jordan right now, you know, and they're trying to game plan that and, you know, having to not chase, but he does hit off speed as good as he does fastball. So but it's just he's a better defender. You know, he just understands the game. I've been really proud of him. You know, he had a big homer this weekend, and you know, he got so excited. He's yelling at everybody. He just puts the bat down nicely and runs the bases. I said, man, that was really cool the way you laid the bat down. You laid the bat down and just kind of jogged the bases like you do it all the time because he's just maturing in a lot of ways, and he's really such a wonderful kid. You know, he's usually in a great mood. He's kind of our guy in our dugout, the team, the guys. I mean, he's just a great teammate too, which I've really enjoyed watching that.
In terms of raw power, guys that you've been around, is there anybody that compares? Because I mean, there are times when, you know, when he hits one of those balls that is off the face of the lofts. I mean, it looks like a really powerful swing, but there are also times where it looks like it's a flick of the wrist and the ball just absolutely jumps off the bat.
Yeah, I don't know if I've been around. I mean, I haven't been around much if it's near him because what he does is he hits most of them over the eye drop. You know, he hits them to center, he hits them to right. You know, I don't walk the infield when he's hitting. I'll tell you that because I'm scared to death he's going to hit my fat butt. You know, like I'm walking and you can't get out of the way of the ball. It comes off so fast, and I say if you notice me, and he hits, I'm behind the screen. You know, because I'm not getting hit by him, but it's just he does everything. He runs as fast as anybody in our league down the line. He's got as good an arm. He's as good a defender. He can just do, and it's a gift from God. I mean, he's worked on it. Don't get me wrong, but he is a true 5-tool player.
Chris, only a minute left. Just a quick thought as you look around the SEC. You talked about the murderer's row that you guys have played, and maybe things are kind of evening out a little bit across the SEC, but is this as good as the league has ever been? Which feels like a question that we ask every year.
I think so because I just think the portal's changed our league. There's just not a lot of gaps in teams right now. And, you know, I talk about through what we went through, but I think other people are talking about what they've been through, and we still have a lot to go through. I mean, we got a good Georgia team coming in this weekend. I mean, we load it, and then we play our rivals. I mean, you just week to week, you are just locking horns, and you just need everyone you can get. That's why you come home, you're on that bus and pissed off last night, because when you do have a chance to get a special weekend on the road, you got to take advantage of it. And unfortunately, we didn't. But it's every week's a new battle, and it's a different matchup. And sometimes it's how you match up with guys, and what's good for your, So you're constantly trying to keep your kids in the fight, and you got to take the blows too. Like you got to be able to rebound off a tough weekend and be able to come back. And the teams that you're going to see a team win 15 games in the SEC. And you're going to look up and they're in Omaha because you're just the best, and the best are just beating each other up right now.
Coach,